You got me?
Oh, we got you. I think this is the first time I've ever had you on.
I don't know what the hell these chocolates are that you sent us, but ugh, some of them got something in them.
Well, maybe you picked up a bad one to start.
I think they got a deal on the chocolates they sent us.
Well, we thank you for joining us, and thank you for being on time as well.
My God. Holy cow. All these things are different. These things are – hold on. Let me move in.
Got it? Okay. We're going to start with questions.
Where's that guy at? With the guy with the mask on? Is he in his own house?
I assume you're talking about me. And no, I'm at UT.
What's that?
Cool.
University of Tennessee.
Oh, gosh. Put your mask on, boy.
All right. We are going to start with questions. And to kick us off, we're going to go to Bob. Bob, go ahead and put us back on track here.
Yeah. Zippy said earlier this week that he's potentially could have the same lineup this year as or next year as this year. I was curious how confident you are about returning to Stewart Haas.
He did?
He left the door open for some others, though, too.
Oh, so he didn't say anything.
Well, it depends on how you interpret it.
Hey, they're working on that, Bob, on the future and what that looks like. And if it's a part of this sport in any way, shape, or form, I'm excited about it. So we'll work on that and really go to that. For right now, it's all about the playoffs. I mean, it's new life. I've been so frustrated this summer. I mean, this pandemic sucks. I'm frustrated for our sport. I'm frustrated for our fans. 20,000 people we got to bring back. It's slowly starting to come back and see life. I mean, that's awesome to see, man. You could hear them. You could see them. Like, there was a damn crowd there last weekend. And that's a lot of, a shot in the arm for our sport, a breath of fresh air for everybody involved, competitors, fans, everything. I mean, I was across the street at Bass Pro Shop, and it was full of race fans. I mean, like, yes, we're back. This is getting close to what normalcy is, and I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about these first three races within the playoffs. I'm excited about Darlington. We ran well there. And Darlington 2 won a couple stages, and I mean, again, it was the same old Darlington for me. We ran well, doing the things we needed to do. We pit, caution comes out, your lap down, boom. Next thing you know, you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole, put it in a hole that it shouldn't have been in, and hit the wall, and the rest is history. I mean, it's just that fast it can get away from you. And oh, by the way, now it's for all the marbles in a championship. People ask you all the time, these playoffs, what does it mean to be in the playoffs? Yes, it's an elite group or whatever, but that doesn't matter. You're in the playoffs for one reason, to compete for a championship, and that's Phoenix. The only way you can do that is to go through these rounds. We don't have very many points. We've got to earn stage points. We've got to race it to our capabilities, and moreover, for our 14 car, we've got to minimize mistakes. That's how we go rounds in this thing and compete for a championship. The capabilities there, got to clean up the mistakes.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Heather Williams. Heather, go ahead.
Hey, Clint. We saw how crazy Daytona was as the cutoff to the regular season. The cutoff of the first round of the playoffs is Bristol. Yeah. What's that going to be like?
It's going to be more to the same. I mean, I don't know. It's like they were just wanting to how could we make this as nerve-wracking as possible? I mean, we're talking like ulcer-level nerve-wracking situations, and they found it. Robles, Bristol, Daytona. I mean, it can't get any more nerve-wracking than that. Going into this thing, I don't have a lot of playoff points. We've got to get these stage points established right off the bat. We're starting up front, relatively up front. For the way I've started all summer long, a 9th place start is way up front. I'm super pumped about a top 10 starting spot and going after this thing. I mean, we got a new rabbit you're chasing, I mean, that thing gets a little bit wore out as you're going through those summer months. And we've got a new one out there in front of the hood, and by God, I'm going to chase it.
Okay, we're going to continue with questions. Our next question will come from Jeff Gluck. Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, Clint, other than yourself, who do you think is like a dark horse team or a surprise that could make a little run here in the playoffs?
That's an interesting question. I don't know. I think everybody knows everybody's strength and weaknesses. For us, I guess I don't know how to answer your question. I don't know, Jeff. That's a great question. I don't know who is the dark horse. A William Byron, I guess. If you look at him, there's momentum is something. Confidence is something. Winning your first race is worth something. Having a crew chief like Chad Knaus is worth something. Trust me. That all is building at the right time. I mean, I've came into the playoffs before and won New Hampshire right off the bat, rode that off into a second place finish and a shot at a title, that's real. Look at Tony Stewart, his last championship. They sucked all year. All of a sudden, boom, here they are. Here they come a-running, get on that wave, found the right wave, and rode that damn thing off into the sunset down there at Homestead in a championship. It can happen. It can happen with any race team. But you've got to, for us, again, going back to how it's going to happen for me, and that's minimizing mistakes. We've got to clean up the mistakes that we've made. If we can do that, I'm telling you, we're capable of going rounds in this thing.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Jenna. Jenna, go ahead with your question.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can't see you. I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, there you are.
Hi. So you were talking to Bob about returning to normalcy, and Steve Phelps said yesterday a COVID test, drivers out, no points. What precautions do you have to take to protect yourself in the playoffs to prevent a positive test not knocking you out?
Gas mask. Same precautions you have. I mean, it's the same thing. It's COVID. I mean, it sucks. That's why it's pretty crazy to me that we're this far along and we still really don't know a whole lot more than where we're at. I mean, it's crazy times, but nonetheless, you got to take care of yourself and I'm probably not going to go to college and hit up a keg stand. I probably am not going to do that. I would say that would be a good opportunity to find yourself pointless.
Do you have to? Is it any more serious for you now with the championship on the line than it was the first 26 weeks? Okay.
It can't be, Jenna. I mean, the seriousness comes if you have COVID, you can't race. That sucks. And honestly, the thing that sucks even worse than that is I've talked to both of them that had it and probably had worse hangovers and couldn't race. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just, it is what it is. And that's the foul. It's not a judgmental call. It's not, when the ref calls a foul in a basketball game, you don't get a chance to go plead your case and get it overturned. It is what it is and it's done. I mean, it's very unfortunate that Jimmy Johnson didn't get in the playoffs because he had COVID that was completely out of his control. I mean, honestly, you can do all of the things and you might get it opening your car door. You just there's a lot of things, precautionary things you can do, but there's a lot of things that are out of your control, in my opinion. Eventually we got to put this thing back in gear. Your kids got to go to school. They're going to be around people. I mean, there's a lot of things that are real, but you got to pray that it doesn't happen to you and do everything you possibly can to stay away from it.
Thanks, Clint.
Yeah.
Stay healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Jordan Bianchi. Jordan, go ahead.
Clint, kind of following up on Bob's question earlier, you had said earlier this summer that you wanted to continue to race full time. at what
Where are you,
point?
Jordan? I can't even find you. I'm scrolling. I still can't find you.
At what point, if returning to SHR next year is not an option, do you start having conversations with other teams?
Man, again, we're working on all of that with the future. And hey, man, again, I said it to Bob. If it's being a part of this sport in any way, shape, or form, I'm excited about it. I'm more excited about the playoffs right now. We have an opportunity to win a championship. You see this? Look, you see that right there, Jordan?
Yeah, I see.
I don't have one of those. If you get me one of those, I'll have way different opinions on strategies and what I'm going to do, whether I'm stay, whatever. I want one of those. And right now, that's the only thing that matters.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Lee Spencer. Lee, go ahead.
Thank you, and thanks for joining us, Clint. Just kind of curious whether or not, what your relationship.
Did she just fall down? What happened? Where'd she go?
Lee, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Lee, are you
go
okay?
I'm alive, Clint. I'm alive.
What the hell just happened?
What do you mean, what the hell just happened?
Can you guys explain to me what you heard, or explain to her if we all heard the same thing? It sounded like you fell down, like you fell down or something. I don't know what happened.
Sorry about that. If you could just describe how your relationship has evolved with Johnny Klossmeyer this year, that would be awesome.
Yeah. I can't even find you. Never mind. Yeah, with Johnny, I really like Johnny. I think a lot of him, his demeanor is certainly not like mine. And I think that's a really positive thing. I don't know how many times the old driver in me, I don't know how many times I've got out of the car and got home. Your wife's like, what in the hell was wrong with you today? You're like, what are you talking about? You're like, guy, you were an a-hole. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I thought this was a pretty good day. She's like, man, you were pretty hard on it. Like, that's just part of I guess the competitive nature of me and how I go about business. But like, all kidding aside, the thing I do like about him is when you're whining about something, all he gets a 10-4 and he goes back to work. But he listens and he tries to make the car better for you. And 9 times out of 10, he does. A lot of unknowns with the way that the season's been since the pandemic, of not having, a lot of things to fall back on. And it's been tricky watching him. It seems like it's really tricky because in 2018, we kind of had this package going, the Aero package. Obviously, a lot of things have evolved since then, but they had a lot of success in 2018, run up through the playoffs and had some fast race cars. So, I've seen it be confusing, trying to land, because you're guessing at it anyway. At the end of the day, you're guessing at it, especially with no notebook with a driver, with no, recent experiences with this Aero package. I mean, not going, no practice, nothing. I mean, he's throwing darts at it at a best guesstimate. And, a lot of times he hit it and sometimes we didn't. The thing that's good about our relationship is we've got that behind us. Now we're finally going back to these tracks for the second time, and we have that notebook. It's established. We won't make the mistakes that we've made. We learn from those mistakes and don't make them again. Now, yes, that's obvious, and every other team is doing the same thing, but I feel like that's going to go, rounds for us. That's going to be how we go rounds within these playoffs, is just clean up the mistakes. We've shown our capabilities. We've run up front. We've won stages. We've led laps, probably more laps this year than I have last year, maybe. But nonetheless, we've been up front, but we've made mistakes. Now we have a notebook of what not to do, and we got to put it to good use within these playoffs.
Thanks. Appreciate your time.
Yeah. Too. Sorry, I didn't mean to. It honestly, I don't know if your microphone maybe fell. That was probably it or something. It was weird sounding.
Okay.
Hell, I don't know.
Take our next question from Pete Acabelli. Pete, go ahead.
Hey, Clint, you were talking earlier about how the fans and, seeing some fans and and things getting back to normal. I mean, when we were at Darlington last time, were you at all worried about this whole thing blowing up because of COVID and that we wouldn't even get to this point we are now?
I'm not going to lie. I was really confused. I don't know. I'm as confused now as I've ever been, but I remember Darlington well. I remember passing a drag strip that was packed to the gills with people in the pit area and fans in the stands and everything else. The beach is going crazy, and you can walk across the street and walk into a diner and eat, but you couldn't bring my wife to the motorhome. You know, I was like, there's just a lot of confusion, right? But there's so much that we've learned from then, that the regulations that the state put in, the guidelines that they hold you to as a sport, so you can even come into the state and put on the show to begin with. You're playing by their rules. That's the house rules, right? And it's not the same. It's not uniform across the country. You go to this state and it's one thing. You go to the next state and he's got a, you know, his mindset on another opinion of a guideline. So they've done a good job of bobbing and weaving as we go throughout this endeavor of pandemic. And honestly, we're still standing. I think it proves that you can do things safely. Again, looking back at last weekend, 20,000 fans is nothing that's no, you know, nothing to miss. And that was a gain, in my opinion, a huge step in the right direction of getting back to normalcy. Do they have to wear masks? Do we all have to wear masks? Yes. I mean, it's part of it, but if it's making somebody somewhere safe, I don't care. That's fine. If that's what I have to do to go race, and that's what we're going to do. It's just, that's human nature. That's we racers more than anything. And I will say this, it's been this way my whole life. I've experienced it and I've watched it time and time again with racers, and still do, whether it's at a grassroots entry level of racing or the elite division of Cup. Racers find a way. And they always find a way before the next guy. That's the competition of racing. I remember time and time again watching a guy roll into the racetrack, flip his car, total it, down and out. Dude's working 3 jobs, wife's working. It's time and time again. You're like, well, he ain't going to be back for a month or so. Nope. Here they are, probably the first ones sitting in line at the you know, the guard shack to come in the gates. I mean, that's what racers do, and it didn't surprise me to the least that we were able to figure it out before other sports.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Mark Garrow with PRN. Go ahead, Mark.
What's up, dude?
Hey, man, how are you?
Good, bud.
You're having a lot of fun with us. And you're laughing your way through. Is that how you handle pressure, or do you even feel any of this pressure of the playoff?
If this looks like fun, you got to get out of that library wherever you're in. This is going on 3.5 hours of sitting in my office on a Zoom meeting. Zoom meetings suck. If there's anything that I hate of the pandemic, it's Zoom meetings and backdrops and Zoom meetings. I think everybody ought to have a free pass at Zoom when we're all done with this crap. It's all I can do to remember my password to turn on the damn computer, and you've got me clicking Zooms and unmuting and muting and videos, and oh my God. But you got to have fun with it, Mark. I mean, we all love this. If we didn't love it, hey, it don't pay that damn good. You know what I mean? I mean, this is a lot of work for everybody. You guys covering this sport, us, you're gone from your families a lot, doing the things that we love to do. I mean, it's what we do. We're racers. I mean, I've been to dirt tracks and watching my dirt guys. I mean, it's what you do, you know, and I love this sport. I really do enjoy, you know, being a part of it on the racetrack. I love selling it to a new fan. Interacting within it of the sport, and whether it's an infield or a coffee shop somewhere. And, you know, there's nothing that makes me more proud to be a part of something when you walk in and like, damn, man, that race was good last night. And, you know, spark up a conversation with an old boy somewhere at a Lowe's or whatever, you know, gas station. that's cool to be a part of something that so many eyes are on and enjoy.
So do you feel pressure or not?
Oh, I didn't answer your question, did I?
No.
Hell yeah, you feel pressure. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I'm gonna postpone that pressure till I get in that damn car, Saturday night. I'm just gonna wait for then. All right, Mark. I'm not gonna go ahead and feel pressure right now. I've chosen not to experience pressure today, Wednesday. Saturday, it's a different day, Mark. I will feel the pressure.
All right, thanks, man.
That's just the way it is. I mean, it's I can't tell you this. There's nothing that lasts longer than a bad run. And I'm bad about it. I am certainly. Ask my wife. She's like, God, will you please get back to the racetrack and try to fix whatever this is? Because you come home as a race car driver and you were super pissed and not much fun to be around for a couple of days after a bad run.
Thank you, man. Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Terry with WNDB. Go ahead, Terry.
Hey, Clint, how you doing?
Good.
All 4 of Stewart Haas's cars are in the playoffs. Does that give you any advantage? Do you think that, or is it more competition?
Could be both, right? It is both. There's no question it's both. Super proud of everybody at all the men and women at Stewart Haas Racing. What an accomplishment. All 4 cars in all 5 cars. That car is going to be racing for a championship too, that Xfinity car. Just a group of pretty special people. I'm going to tell you, Stewart Haas runs as lean as I've ever been a part of any organization, and arguably as lean as anybody we race against, and certainly as lean as anybody that's sharing 4 cars in a chase. I can promise you that. Proud of that. That means that you've got the right people put in place, and they're all pulling on the rope in the same direction. That's how we got here. Cannot lose sight of that. But make no mistake, there's probably going to be a time within probably this first round, you may have to be fighting one of your own for a position to go on, to the next round within these playoffs. There's real life scenarios that are going to be there as well.
Thanks, Clint.
Thanks, man.
All right, Clint. That's all the time we have with you for today. Thank you so much.
Hey, I wanted to say hi to Clara B. Lang. All the rest of you, I appreciate no questions from you. I know I'd like to answer your questions, but honestly, it goes shorter for all of us if we don't. So.
All right, Clint. We're going to send you on to your next stop. Thanks for.
Hey, who's next?
Thanks, Clint.
You are our last driver today. We'll start over tomorrow.
So they're ready to get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Have a good night.
Thanks, Clint. And to all of the media who are still hanging on after that, we will have audio and video from today's sessions available on NASCARmedia.com. If you have any questions, feel free to always reach out to our team. And we will join back here tomorrow to start another round of avails. So thank you to everyone who is on today. If you have any questions, like I said, feel free to reach out and we'll talk again tomorrow.
Thank you, Amanda.
Hi, guys.
Thank you, Amanda.
Good to see you all.
Thanks, Amanda.
Check